Hey traders, Dennis Woburn, the active trend trader. The closing bell for the last trading day in May just rang, and the market price action today was a little bit wimpy. Matter of fact, I asked the question, it appears as if we are reaching indecision at a resistance level. We've seen this act before after we've gone into a confirmed uptrend. Will we get the same result that we've had before? We'll see. So big question is the relief rally in trouble? So let's jump over to the charts and let's start taking a look. Okay, the first thing we'll take a look at is the spiders, and the spiders representing the S&P. As you can see, what we have here is a spinning top, but it's also a bearish harami at the end of an uptrend, and we are running right into where resistance at the just slightly below the 50-day moving average. This can oftentimes resolve to the downside. The momentum has not shifted back down yet. Positive signs, momentum is above the red zero line. Momentum on the weekly chart is also pointing up. Those are all very good signs. However, and also we were above the 20-day moving average. So it would not be surprising to see some kind of a little pullback into these 20-day moving averages, as we see right there, and then a bounce from there. At the same time, what we could get is just a complete flush to the downside, and we blow through the 8 and all the way back down and do a retest down in this area here. At this particular time, I do not have a trade on the S&P, but we'll keep an eye on that going forward. Again, a pullback into the moving averages would be where I would want to look for a potential trade setup on the S&P. What else do we have going on? Earlier in the day, we had a mixed market. We had the Dow up, the Nasdaq up. However, the S&P and the Russell was down. We finished up the day with everything down for today. Let me just double check one thing, and the answer to that is yes. Everything was down. Dow actually closed down 222 points. So what about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq, similar type situation, although we didn't get quite as high, but clearly a doji. I won't categorize this as a bearish harami simply because the body of this today's candlestick is not within the body of Friday's candlestick. However, clearly a sign of indecision. Are we going to go up from here or down? If we do open up tomorrow morning and push up, it's got strong resistance right there at the 50-day moving average, and so that could result in an immediate reversal and pull back down. So that's what we have for the Nasdaq. What about the Russell? Russell puts in basically Russell had done an extension and had blown through its 100% symmetric move, which I'm going to take that out of there for right now. And what do we have today? Right at a level of past resistance, which is the 50-day moving average. We have a bearish harami. Now, everything is sloping up. This is all positive. The TSI this is a true strength index for the Russell, is above the zero line. Those are all positive bullish indicators. I would look for a potential pullback. Where does the Russell become interesting to me for a potential buy? Well, it is if we bounce off the 820 combo, which is right about there, or if we push up a little higher and blow through that. Where is it interesting for me for a potential short sell, or getting with a bearish trade? It's going to have to break back down below the 8-day moving average for me to be interested in that. Or if we go above the 50 and then blow back down through the 50, would give us another opportunity for that. The other thing I want to take a look at is here's a couple of stocks that we basically offered for our AutoPilot trading members this past weekend, and one of them is ATKR. And this is the way the AutoPilot Trading Service works. Is that basically I forecast out where I think things are going to pull back to, and we forecasted this one was going to pull back to about 106 and some change. It did that. So members of the AutoPilot Trading Service, if they parallel traded with us, they were in this trade and were up about 2 or 3%. The other one that we got into last is that SOXL. This was an excellent trade. However, it also may be running into a little bit of resistance issues, but we do have a higher high. We don't have a higher low yet, so we may get a pullback into the 820. This one we got into down here at about the, at 1876. This was put out as an order, as a conditional order last week. And we jumped out a partial position at 13%, and we're still holding about a 34% gain on that. I trade both the leveraged ETFs, 7 of them, representing the indexes, 3 indexes, and 4 sectors. And then I put out a list of 5 great growth stocks every week, and I, dissect them to show our members exactly where and how I'm going to be trading it if they want to parallel trade with us. If you're interested in something like that, it's based on a mechanical system that has proven to beat the indexes for the past 11 years, the AutoPilot, the active trend trading system. So that's what we have there. The last thing I'll leave you with is oil in trouble? Great question. Let's go over and take a real quick look at the oil futures. How do they look like? Okay, oil futures, now they will be shutting down here in a little bit, and then it will open back up for at about 12 o'clock Pacific time, or 12 o'clock Hawaiian time, and be on their way again. But that is a shooting star, folks. There's no way you can cut that. That is a shooting star. So does that mean oil may be in for a significant pullback? We'll see. As you see that, oil has gone up and up and up and up and up and has driven itself, and is on a really nice trajectory. However, what do we have going on? TSI is up close to where it's reversed before. That's a positive if you're looking for something to the downside. On the weekly chart, well, I realized today was just Tuesday, on the first day of the trading week, but look at on the weekly chart. This is negative divergence across here. This is negative divergence here, negative divergence here. And what that means is we're pushing up closer to the past highs. The TSI and the market forecast is not. And therefore, it's telling us that it's making this move, but on lower, less momentum. So we may want to be looking at some of the oil stocks, such as FANG. And, because FANG, while this is not a bearish reversal signal yet, it's telling us, it could be signaling us and saying, hey, I may be in for a significant, pullback, maybe back to the 50-day moving average or the 20. And as you can see, that is about about 15 points where it could drop to that level. So that's what we have for today. We can go back here and take a look at the rest of stuff of what we're doing here. And remember that all materials we do present are for training purposes. Traders should always pay per trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. And we've taken care of the whiteboard. And I just want to say aloha, God bless everybody, and stay tuned for some really great sessions through the rest of this week. Still working on the book, trying to get that book out by the end of July, and that's called Trade Your Way to Wealth in Less Than 2 Hours Per Day, or at least that's the working title of it. And Brandon, my son, and I are working on that diligently, trying to get that out. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think over on the YouTube channel, and also if there's anything you want us to take a specific look at, let me know, because we will repeat the market analysis on Thursday, and we should know by then whether this is a pause before further rallying, or is the rally crapping out? It has the last 5 times we've gone up into market in confirmed uptrend. So aloha, God bless everybody.